Dinosaurs. We all know of them. Some people love them. Some people question everything about them, including their existence. They're everywhere in pop culture, from kids' content to horror content. Actually, now that I think about that, that's kind of the only two. I wonder why. Anyways, there's a shockingly low amount of good quality movies involving these fascinating prehistoric beasts of nature. Now, me personally, I have loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. I had a dinosaur-themed room growing up. I have several dino Lego sets that are some of my favorite dinos. And I also have a really cool Carnotaurus figurine that my roommate found for me that is super cool, super mobile. So, imagine my excitement when my roommate, who got me this dino figure, who loves dinos, shows me a trailer for this new dinosaur movie. It wasn't Jurassic World or Jurassic Park or anything in the Jurassic series. I got so excited. I watched the trailer. It looked amazing. The day finally arrives. We go into the theater. We sit down and watch the movie. And as I sit down and look around, I realize there's only about 10 other people in the theater. I thought nothing of it. I've seen low audiences for movies before, but I think that was mostly accredited to, one, it was a showing in the middle of the day, in the middle of a work week, and two, it really didn't get a lot of marketing, so it was either you know about it or you don't, and it was a very limited runtime. Oh, but boy, did I write off all the reasons why the theater was empty way too soon. The premise of the movie is Vietnam, 1968. A recon unit known as Vulture Squad is sent into an isolated jungle valley to uncover the fate of missing Green Beret platoon. They soon discover they're not alone. This movie, Primitave War, was an independent film directed by Luke Spark. After pitching the idea to Hollywood, which was rejected by all the major producers, I am not sure why, because dino movies are really cool, so there's not enough dino lovers in Hollywood, but that's not a time or place for that argument. However, this didn't deter Spark from continuing on because of how much he loved the book. Spark got the author of the book, Ethan Patias, to help write this movie and to make sure that it was close to the same story from page to screen. Both a blessing and a curse. During the beginning stages of production, Spark had a budget of about $7 million. One article stated that is a ridiculously low budget for the type of movie that they're setting out to film. You know, very CGI heavy, not a whole lot of practical effects that can be done. The movie was originally scheduled to run in 647 theaters in the US and ran in those theaters for 5 days to 3 weeks. The time frame really varied dependent on where you were viewing it. And that's it. I think that's kind of average. But worldwide, the movie ran for about 6 weeks and made $1.2 million in the box office. That's only 17% of the budget. They did not make their money back even in the slightest on this project. Now, during research for this video, I saw several articles saying that this was a blockbuster movie. I don't see where they got that idea from, simply due to how little people know or saw the movie. Although, I can't be too harsh on it for the lack of return of funds, because passion projects do exist. They always will exist. Every small YouTuber is just a passion project. Spark had so much love put into this movie, and it does show at certain times. But for the most part, it's not a good movie. The movie got an overwhelming amount of positive feedback from the trailers that first dropped. Due to the amount of feedback, the movie got to have a major panel at the San Diego Comic-Con in 2024, making history for Australian independent films. While looking into the reviews and the articles for this film, I got the feeling that people thought this was the best dinosaur movie since the first Jurassic Park trilogy. However, I feel it is very disrespectful to sleep on such classic movies like Dinosaur World, Raptor Ranch, and Dinosaur Prison, or Dino Croc vs. Super Gator. Come on, guys. Oh, wait, that doesn't sound right. Sorry, I meant to say Disney's Dinosaur, Land Before Time, and the movie 65 with Adam Driver. These movies showcase what dinosaurs look like for the time period that we knew about them, for the most part. You go away. Nobody asked for you. The dinos in the movie were amazing and very scientifically accurate for what we know of in 2026. There were all of the obvious big ones, such as the Utah raptors, Microraptors, T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, Dreadnoughts, and a bunch of other herbivores. And looking at all of them, they're amazing and pretty close to how we currently suspect they looked like and their behaviors that we can assume they had. I'm just really sad because the whole movie they put the dinos in the viewer's face after a bad scene and hoped you wouldn't notice the nearly non-existent plot. They did their best.
Brother,
I feel the movie is written partially with AI. We're watching this Russian lady save the sergeant and one of the other members of Vulture Squad from a T-Rex that was swimming in the river that was chasing them for a while. But during that entire time of them seeing her and then walking in and then getting to this clip.
So now, you explain to me why you are here.
I think you're the one with some explaining to do.
what is she doing?
Medicating.
Is she putting in her arm? Jesus fucking Christ, Sarge, what the is going on?
What are you doing here? What is the purpose of this facility, and why are there dinosaurs outside?
There wasn't a single question asked. Why was the chair thrown by the sergeant? He didn't ask anything. Why is he mad? It felt so out of nowhere. And you would think that if there was important questions that they had asked, they would have kept it so that way this scene made sense and was a bit more impactful. But they didn't. During the movie, I felt it was very disjointed and not really sure on what was happening or why, despite heavily paying attention to everything in the movie. It felt like there was way too much going on all the time. They simply kept feeding more and more information and overwhelming the viewer with what's happening on screen. It was a lot of tell, not show. A lot of it. And there was way too many characters trying to have arcs and the results with unsatisfactory endings by all the characters by the end, whether they lived or not. The sergeant and two other soldiers died. Spoiler. But their deaths felt really forced and unnecessary. It felt like they could have done something differently with it, and they didn't. By the end of the movie, they blow up the super collider. Yes, that's what's bringing the dinos into this entire world. I didn't think it was, honestly, a very valid... It's a weird plot point to have. They somehow invented a super collider that makes time travel possible, but they can't control it. But they end up blowing up the super collider and leaving the valley. All of those dinos that came through the super collider are still there. They can leave. There's swimming, there's flying, and then there's just straight up walking out. They're acting like it's all going to work itself out. It felt like there was a whole bunch of context that was removed from the story when the writer came in and decided, I'm going to change a whole bunch of things. And it felt shallow. It felt like, just watch the pretty dinos. And don't worry about the lack of plot.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
All of this to say, I don't want this to be the standard for dino movies. I thought there was great potential and a great jumping point for more like it, minus the AI. I know I ranted and hated this movie quite a bit, but I am looking forward to more independent dino movies in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more content like this, please leave a comment down below, press the like button, hit the subscribe. I'm trying to do more movie reviews and things like this. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.